Flosstube. My name is Shiloh and I am a cross stitcher and knitter living in Nova Scotia, Canada. On my channel I talk about cross stitching and knitting, not surprisingly, because I'm pretty much obsessed with both of them. And I've gotten quite a bit done over the past few weeks. My crafty bug is in full force, so I have lots to show you. So let's get started. First of all, I want to say that I pulled winners for the giveaway from last week. Thank you to all of you who entered. For those of you that didn't watch my last video, I'm hosting a stitch along starting November 1st, and the pattern we'll be stitching is called Winter Wonderland by Xstitchmd, which is a German designer. And this chart is available on the Silk Stitching app, which is an app you can get on iOS devices, not on Android yet, unfortunately. And you basically stitch from the app. It's really cool. They are having a new feature coming out soon where you'll be able to track your stitches, kind of like Pattern Keeper. So I'm really excited for that. The winners for the Winter Wonderland chart were LJ Breck and Little 13 Witch. I have commented on both of your comments, letting you know that she won, and just send me an email and I'll get that download code out to you as soon as I can. And the other pattern I had given away last week was Quaker Mini Stitches by Jeanette Douglas, and the winner of that was Denise Whitcomb. And Denise, I've commented on your comment. If you could send me an email with your mailing address, I'll get that out to you as soon as I can. Yay, so exciting. So to start off with, I had a big knitting finish, and you probably were already noticing it because I'm wearing it and it's super cozy. So I will show this to you. So let me take it off so I can show it better. So this is the Starflake shawl by Stephen West, and it was the mystery knit along from 2019. Requisite around my head. So this shawl was a mystery knit along, and I think I started it after the full project had actually already been revealed. And I just finished it this week because I've started on the 2020 mystery knit along, and I was kind of like, it's kind of bad if I haven't finished the one from last year yet, so I should probably get on that. But what was holding me up from finishing it was this, which is an I-cord bind off. So you can see that it's this nice edge, which is a knit edge. And I had to do this bind off all the way around the whole shawl, right? So I don't even remember how many stitches it was. It was probably like 600 and something. It took so long. So I had done maybe about this much and then set the project aside for like 6 months. I don't know. I was just thinking about it again the other day, and I pulled it out and I was like, I need to just get this done. So I pulled it out. Took me about 2 hours to do the bind off, maybe a bit longer, and it is done. So this shawl was super fun. There's all these different sections to it. So these sections here were some knit, I guess, parallelograms that you then put together. This stripy section. This section here was supposed to be brioche, which I have not quite mastered yet, so I just did it in garter stitch. Lots of eyelets, and yeah, it's super fun. The yarn I used, so this dark yarn is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering Yarn, and the color is Cobblestone Heather. And this gray yarn was one I had in my stash. It's a gray yarn, you know. I don't know what exactly it is, I lost the label for it, but it's a bit more of like a scratchy yarn, and this stroll is really soft, so it makes like for a nice contrast with each other. So that is my Stephen West Starflake shawl, and I am really happy with it. It's super cozy. I will say one thing about this is that it took forever to weave in all the ends, and I just learned how to weave in the ends as I go, which is very exciting, and I'll talk more about that later, but never again will I have to weave in this many ends. That's what I just kept telling myself while I was weaving in all the ends, because it was just never ending. All right, let's go over to stitching. I don't have any stitching finishes. I did take 2 things to Michael's to get framed a couple of weeks ago, but they're not back yet, which is sad. Hopefully by my next video they will be. But that just gives me more time to figure out where I'm going to hang them, so that's good. But I have been working on my stitching. So the first thing I'll show you is my ink circles pattern, called Cirque de Cours, and this is a monochromatic design, which is some of my favorites. And I got this as a PDF download on their website, and like always, you can look in the link, the drop-down link below, and I have all the patterns, most of the flosses and fabrics and all that kind of stuff linked below, in case you want to copy me, because that's fun to do. Anyway, Cirque de Cours, here's where I'm at, and again, I didn't rip out my stuff from the pin stitch tutorial yet. So I finished this heart since last time. I really like it with the cute little circly motifs. And this represents, so I think about here was page 1. So I'm about halfway through page 2. I think it's 3 pages across and 2 pages down. So I'm making pretty good progress on this. The floss I'm using is Silks for You. And the color number I think is 109 or 119, something like that. It's on my Instagram. So it's really pretty magenta color. I'm using 2 strands of silk over 2. Oops. Clearly I was about to start another thread. This is a 32 count Zweigart even weave. It's called Murano, and I got this on Etsy, and I'll try to link below the shop that I got it from. It's a really nice even weave. It's really thick. It's kind of like Monaco, but not quite as thick, and I really like it. So that is Cirque de Coeurs. I pulled out 2 older whips this week because they had been ignored for quite some time, so it was time to give them some love again. So the first one is Sampler Hope by Stitches Through the Years, and I got this as a PDF download from her Etsy shop. And here's where I am. So I think I'm halfway through this by now. So this has a quote from Emily Dickens, and so the quote is over 1. I'm using all the called for colors, so it's a mix of, pardon my messy threads, it's a mix of Classic Colorworks, Gentle Art, and Weeks Dye Works. So I have them all nice and messy on here. But yeah, so I'm stitching this on a 30 count white linen. I don't know what the brand or maker is, it was just in my stash. The words are over 1, and the rest of it is over 2. We have some blank spots here on the berries where beads will go in, but I'm not at that part yet. So here it is. I'm really happy with this. It's super pretty. And yeah, so what I worked on was this area here, the little vase with the flowers in it. Super pretty. I love Stitches Through the Years patterns. If you haven't checked out her Etsy shop, I'm sorry, because it's very dangerous. When you go there, you'll want to buy all her charts. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here's where my projects live. I get these clear project bags from Amazon. I have them linked below. All right, it's very satisfying zippering things like that. The next old whip that I pulled out was by Owl Forest Embroidery, and this is called Russian Windows, and I got the chart again as a PDF download from their website, and I actually also got the called for threads, so the Owl Forest Embroidery threads, and I'll just show you how they come because it's kind of cool. So they come wrapped in like a little bundle attached to a bobbin, and the bobbin actually has the color number on it, so that's kind of cool. So you can see them wound there. So these are some really, really pretty colors, and a couple of them you needed multiple of the colors. I'm just trying to see if I have all of them here. So here's some of the colors that I have extras of. Super pretty. I really like the variegated. I'm not really sure why I bought them because I usually just substitute DMC. I think I was just in like a spendy mood that day. I bought this like last year, I think. But anyway, these colors are super pretty. But enough about that. Let me show you the actual design. So make sure I have it the right way up. So here's where I'm at so far. So I have the first window done, and look at that cute little kitty. So I'm using the called for Owl Forest Embroidery threads 2/2 on 32 count white Belfast linen, and super pretty. I love these colors, the yellows, blues, and greens. It's just really, really pretty. Really fun. This is going to be ginormous. So clearly I am miles and miles away from completing it, but that's the fun of stitching, right? It's like, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but after I finish a big project, there's always like this mixture of like happiness and a little bit of sadness. Like when I finished this shawl, I was like, now I can't work on it anymore. Mixed with, thank goodness I never have to do that I-cord binding again. Although I'll probably do it again for another shawl. That was Russian Window. Next, I have 2 new cross stitch starts, which is very exciting. The first one was a chart that I was very generously gifted by the designer, Caterpillar Cross Stitch. So this is the Hello Dear mystery stitch along. And no, it is not my horrible camera work that makes this so blurry. It's a mystery. So that is your, little hint of what the design's gonna look like. So they sent me the kit for this, which is super exciting. And so the way that this stitch along works is there's 5 parts, and you get a new part every Sunday, Monday, every Monday, every second Monday. So the first 2 parts are out so far, and the next part comes out next Monday, which means I have a week to finish part 2 because I've only finished part 1 so far. I have to show you though how the threads came, because they came on this really cute thread heap. The cute little caterpillar and all the threads, which I get extremely tangled as I'm working on them, but that's fine. So I have finished the first part, which is this cute little robin. He's adorable, and it came with this really cute needle minder. Like, let me put it, oops. It's really cute needle minder, which is also the robin. There's a lot of sunlight coming in right now, so apologies if it's hard to see. So this super cute needle minder, and I'm stitching this with the called for DMC on 28 count white even weave. I'm not sure what type of even weave this is. My guess would be a Lugana. So, so cute. So the next part will go up here, and for those of you, I feel like everyone's probably seen it if they're doing a stitch along. It's a cute little squirrel that goes along the top here. So, super cute. I'm really enjoying this. I don't tend to do a lot of seasonal stitching, but I kind of want to have more seasonal pieces to put up in my house, so this is really cute. They also have a fall one, which I think is called Hello Pumpkin, and it's super cute. I'm gonna need to download that and stitch it. Those charts you can get on their website, Caterpillar Cross Stitch website, as PDF downloads, which is super awesome because they're in the UK and shipping is crazy expensive, but PDF downloads, no shipping. All right, the next pattern I started this week, which I just saw that Laura, Maud and Mozart on Instagram and part of Brenda and the Serial Starter on Instagram, she just started this as well. So this is the AL Motif Sampler by Hello from Liz Matthews. It's a reproduction sampler, so there's the original. Liz kind of added in some different motifs because this part of the chart you can see this part of the original sampler had been wrecked, I guess. I love this. The colors are so perfect. I love pale pastel-y colors like this. And this was released at the Nashville Cross Stitch Needlework Market back in March, and I got it at that time. Hadn't started it because, you know, so many other things going on, but I finally started it. So I am using the DMC conversion. So Liz very kindly provides, her pattern is stitched in needlepoint ink silks, but she provides a DMC conversion, and there's the colors. I am missing one. I need DMC 3031, so I don't have that one yet, but you know, go to Michael's. So here's my start. Just a teensy little start so far. And I'm stitching this on 34 count Devonshire cream linen by Access Commodities, which is really, really nice. I'm kind of obsessed with Access Commodities linen right now. Like, I'm stitching a couple different things on their 37 count linen, and this is their 34 count. It's just fun to be like weird counts, right? And I really, really like this linen. So yeah, recommended or called for DMC, 2 strands over 2 on 34 count Devonshire cream linen. This is more the color. The sunlight is really washing it out. So this is super fun. It should be a fairly quick stitch if I stick with it. That's the thing. I just get distracted by millions of other things. Okay, so let me just arrange my mess down here. What have I worked on in terms of knitting? Okay, so I finished this. I also finished a sock. So this pattern is called the Vanilla Latte sock, and it's called that because in knitting terminology, when you knit a sock in just stockinette, which is this type of stitch, just like the little V's, it's called a vanilla sock because it's just plain, you don't have any pattern. So this sock is called the Vanilla Latte sock because she mixed it up a little bit and threw in some purl stitches along with the knits. So that's kind of fun, and it makes for a really stretchy sock that fits really nicely. The heel, I did something called an Eye of Partridge heel. Don't know why it's called that. It was kind of fun. And then the foot, oftentimes knit socks, the top of the foot will be in the same pattern as the leg, but then the bottom of the foot will just be in stockinette, so you don't have like any weird bumps or anything on the bottom of your foot. At least that's what I assume. And I did something different with the toe. I did what's called a star toe instead of a wedge toe. So that was fun. I love this yarn. So this is Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering yarn, and it's from their Sock Lab collection, which I believe is now out of stock, but which is a shame because it's so, so beautiful. And I believe this is the color can't remember, it's on my Instagram. So this was a really fun sock to knit. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I did go up a size on my needle. I used a 2.5mm needle instead of a 2.25. I was just looking to see if I could get a better fit in the ankle and heel, because when I was knitting on the 2.25s, it was a little bit snug. It is a teensy bit big, but I don't mind that. But I think I do prefer the 2.25, so that's what I'm going back to knitting my socks on. But yeah, so there's sock number 1. So now I need to cast on sock number 2, which will happen eventually. All right, in other sock news, I am almost finished the second of my pair of mood ring socks. So this is yarn, again, from Knit Picks, and it is Stroll Fingering, which is the same base as I used the gray in here. And I really like the Stroll yarn. It's really, really soft from Knit Picks. So this yarn was really fun because it came in 2 identical cakes. So you can knit 2 identical socks, but I didn't want to knit 2 identical socks. And Rocio from Kokohama Stitchery had the brilliant suggestion of knitting 1 sock from the outside of the cake in and 1 sock from the inside. So the inside was this gray, which I didn't even get to in this sock. I just got a bit to the blue. So I thought it'd be really fun to knit the other way and see how far I got with this. So I think I'm gonna get to the yellow. I maybe have like this much more left to go to the toe, but I don't think I'm gonna get to any of the red, which is really interesting to me. Yeah, because I think this blue, the blue is longer than the yellow. Anyway, so this is a plain vanilla sock. I'm just knitting it in stockinette stitch. And I got quite a bit done in this over Thanksgiving, the Sunday of Thanksgiving, because that was, I went over to a friend's house for Thanksgiving dinner, the football was on, I could knit. So I got a lot done there. So these socks should be finished pretty soon. And then I will have my lovely pair of mismatched socks, which I think is super fun. Although I think the toes are actually gonna look pretty similar, the foot and toes, because they're gonna have the green and then this one will have yellow at the toe. So that's kind of fun, but the legs are completely different. So after that, I will need to cast on a new pair of socks, or a new sock. So I'll either do the second of these, or I might cast on this new yarn, which I got in the mail this last week. So I signed up for the Knit Crate sock membership. I had previously been getting their just like regular yarn membership, which was usually 2 skeins of yarn and either like a worsted or DK weight or something, and I would make shawls from it. I had stopped doing that because I had like gotten bored of knitting earlier in the year, but I just signed back up because now I'm obsessed with the knitting again. Anyway, I signed up for their sock club, which you get a skein of sock yarn every month. The mail is horribly backed up, so this was my August membership that I got, but this yarn is super, super fun. It's colorway is called Boy, and it's Knitology block sock. This is a self-striping yarn, so when you knit it up, it gets all nice and stripy. So I'll just show you in this book here. So this is what it'll look like. And it's fun because Knit Crate, it comes with a booklet with patterns and such to suggest for you to use your yarn for. I might choose a different pattern. I haven't decided yet. This yarn is really squishy and lovely, and I'm really excited to knit it up. So yeah, lots of options for my next socks. Okay, what else am I working on? In terms of knitting, I have casted on the Stephen West 2020 mystery knit along, which is called Slipstravaganza, because there are all kinds of slip stitches in it. And if you are knitting this pattern, I am going to be showing where I'm at. So if you don't want any spoilers, then you can just close your eyes and I'll tell you when you can look again. I mean, it's really hard to avoid spoilers. So this pattern, I'll show you my yarn first. You can still keep looking if you're wanting to avoid spoilers. So this pattern calls for four colors of yarn. You have a main color, which you need 2 skeins of, and 3 contrast colors. So my main color is this gorgeous burgundy-ish color, which is showing up pretty accurately there. And this is Fleece Artist Organic Cottage Socks, 80% organic merino, 20% nylon. Doesn't have a color name on it. This is actually dyed here in Halifax, which is pretty cool. It doesn't have a color name on it because I think a lot of her colors are one of a kinds. So I have 2 skeins of that for my main color. And this is me completely failing at winding a cake because I've learned that when you wind yarn, you need to go slowly. So I have this yarn swift, which is like this, basically looks like an umbrella that you put the skein of yarn on, and then I have a ball winder which has a little notch in it, and then you can turn and it rolls it into a beautiful cake like this if you do it correctly. However, if you go too fast, your yarn can get tangled and pop off the ball winder, and you can't put it back on, and then you have to wind the rest by hand, and it looks funky like this. So yeah. Anyway, my contrast colors. So I have 3 contrast colors. The first one is this lovely pale color. So this is Malabrigo Machita, which is 100% superwash merino, and the colorway is called Natural. So it's just like their undyed yarn. It's really pretty, it's really soft. The next one I have is this, which again shows my superior ball winding skills. This is like, I don't know why it's all puffy like this. This is an Estelle yarn, or sorry, distributed by Estelle Yarn. It's Color Story Yarns. 75% wool, 25% nylon, and the colorway is called Orchid. I love this. It has so many beautiful colors in it. Why is my ball doing this? I don't know. It's weird. The last contrast color I'm using, again, I messed up with my ball winding, is this gorgeous hot pink. Oh my goodness, I just love my color so much. This is from Log House Cottage Yarns. And it's from their Simply Speckled Dark collection. And again, this does not have a color name on it. Okay, so those are my 4 colors. Now, close your eyes if you want it to be a surprise, because I'm gonna show it because I just love it so much. So far there are, there's been 3 clues released so far, 3 different sections. I finished the first 2, and I am about halfway through the 3rd. So let's start off with the first section. So this first section is this, which uses 3 of the colors. So this is my Orchid speckly one, and then the Natural. And then this here is in my main color, and this was super fun to knit. Although, okay, note to self, when a designer provides videos, which are instructions for helping you knit something, it's a really good idea to watch them before you start knitting, because I was like, oh, I can do this. And I misread the instructions like 4 times, which required me to like knit and pick out the same row 4 times before I actually watched the video. And I was like, wow, that makes so much more sense. So ever since then, I've been watching the video first because it's just smarter. Okay, so that's clue 1. Clue 2 was a bonus clue that came out on a Monday. This pattern is being released every Friday for the month of October, and was this little section here, which introduced my other 3rd color. So that was really fun to do. And the 3rd section, which was came out this past Friday, is here. So I've done this so far, and I'll have 3 more of these sections to do. And this is really fun. It's gonna look a lot better once it's blocked out, but I'm really liking how my colors are all interacting together. These were really fun to do. It's just, I'm so happy with this. So I'm holding it upside down because this is where the top is, but it's kind of growing its way out, and I just love it. It's so much fun to work on. The colors, I just can't get enough of. I'm totally obsessed with it. So thank you, Stephen West, because this has been super fun. All right, the other shawl that I've been working on. So I finished the clue 2 for the Stephen West shawl. You can look again if you were not looking. And I wanted to start another shawl in the meantime. And I had really wanted to try mohair. So mohair yarn is made from goats, I believe, and it's spun usually with silk, and it makes this really, really fine lace weight yarn that is super fluffy. They call it a halo. I never knit with it before. I really wanted to try it. So I found this pattern, which is called Softly Together by Miju JP. And she had released this pattern as a mystery knit along back in the summer, but now the whole pattern's out and you can just buy the whole pattern on Ravelry. And it called for a mohair, so I was like, I need to do this. So I went to my local yarn store, LK Yarns, and picked up this gorgeous mohair and cast on, and I'm just loving it. So I'll show you my mohair first because it's just, like, look at this, it's so fluffy. Has anyone else seen, I think it's Despicable Me, where the one little girl is like, it's so fluffy I could die. That's how I feel about this. This is Lichen and Lace Marsh Mohair, 72% kid mohair, 28% silk, and the colorway is called Amethyst. It is just, oh my goodness, it's the best thing ever. Okay, so here is my start, and I just can't get enough of this. So here's my mohair, and I don't know if you can, oh yeah, you can see the fuzz. It's just so fluffy. And so this was part 1 of the shawl, which I finished just this, sorry, it was this section here. Part 2, you start adding in a second color. So this blue, kind of a tealy blue, is also Knit Picks Stroll Fingering, and the colorway, I think it's Rainstorm Heather. So I really liked how those were playing together. This pattern also called for a variegated, so I'm using Knit Picks again. I really like Knit Picks yarn. And this is another one of the Sock Lab yarns, so it came in as a pack with this one. And I believe the color of this one is called Improv. And I really liked how these colors played together. So this one will be introduced probably, I think it's in the next part. So yeah, I'm really liking how this looks with like the super thin and then the thicker yarn. And guys, if you haven't knit with mohair, you need to. It's so soft, it's so fluffy, it's so wonderful. I'm obsessed. Okay, yes, clearly I enjoy my crafting. Maybe a little bit too much. All right, so that is that. And because it's not enough to have 2 giant shawls in the go, started another one. I am now obsessed with Stephen West, if I was not before, and I decided I need to knit like every single one of his shawls, which is probably a tall task, but I'm up for it. So I cast on for the Rockefeller shawl, which I believe was his mystery knit along from 2012. So here's my starter knit so far, and this is super fun. So this is the top of the shawl, and right now I'm knitting short rows, which I'm not knitting all the way across, so you get this like little wedge shape, and I have to do a little bit more of these before I pick up stitches from the bottom and keep knitting. The yarns I'm using, this yarn is Regia Tweed Sock, I think it's called, and the colorway, it didn't have a name, I'm assuming it's just like natural, and this is really cool because it's all tweedy, has little bits in it. To go with that, I got this yarn, which is Americo Tweed something, and it's also, don't remember the color name. If you go to my Ravelry, so on Ravelry I am username, I believe, Dr. Shiloh, and on my Ravelry I have like the actual names of the colors. Also tweedy, so I really liked how the tweediness was looking in this, and it's been really fun to knit so far. I really love shawls. Like in the winter, there's nothing better than having like a nice cozy blanket around your neck. I saw this meme on Instagram, and it was like, this is the time of year where girls wear giant blankets around their necks and call them scarves. And I was like, yes, that is the exact time of year it is. All right, so that's all of the things I'm working on. In terms of things I got in the mail this week, so this week I got my, so I am part of the Weeks Dye Works Floss of the Month Club from Stitching Bits and Bobs. And again, mail is really behind, so I think this was also my August club. So I get 10 skeins of Weeks Dye Works every month. And I'll just show you the colors here. It was a really nice selection this month, or I guess 2 months ago, of different pretty colors. I really like this blue, some nice grays, beiges, and all of that. But what I also got along with it, was these adorable scissors. Like, how cute are these? So these are by Kelmscott Designs, and they're the Putford scissors. I got this in my package. No idea why, or like, am I just that great of a customer that they just send me extra things? Did I order this and forget? I'm pretty sure I did not order these, but they're so cute. So I've really been enjoying using these in my stitching. Kelmscott Designs, highly recommend, super, super cute. All right, the only other thing I got in the mail was this skein of yarn, which was super fun. So that's all I have for stitching and knitting. It's been so much fun getting back into knitting again. Like, I just love it. Also loving my stitching. It's just so nice to have hobbies that we love, that, you know, we can spend time doing and just kind of escape from the rest of the world. And I'm sure lots of you feel that way, and it's just so great to have. So that's all I have for this week. I'll be back again in 2 weeks on November 1st for the start of my Stitch Along. So if you'd like to join me, the hashtag is Winter Wonderland, SAL. You can get the chart from Silk Stitching, and I'd love to have you join along with me. I'm super excited to be stitching a Christmas pattern, and I'm really hoping that I can finish it before Christmas. I figure if we start November 1st, that's like 7 weeks until Christmas, 6 weeks. Who knows? But I feel like, you know, if I buckle down and do it, I could get it finished. Maybe, we'll see. So anyway, that's the plan. If you want to tag me in your posts about it, that would be awesome. I always love seeing whatever you're working on. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm at Xstitchmd over there. And also feel free to like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my videos. I'm loving seeing everyone's progress on Instagram as well as watching Flosstube. I just feel really, really fortunate to be part of this community. Hope you have a great rest of your Sunday or whatever day of the week it is you're watching this. I hope you're staying warm, staying safe, and staying well. I'll talk to you later. Bye.